providing even more programming with memberships consistent throughout the municipality. So if you live in Forest, you can always go up to Grand Bend if you happen to be in the area, or vice versa, whatever. My concern is the optics. I think there has to be consistency throughout the municipality. I think that the YMCA has an advantage over other service providers in the sense that if you join the YMCA in Forest, your membership is good where? Anywhere in Ontario, Canada? So if, you know, we have a Sarnia location that has wonderful facilities that you could actually, if there was a deal on in Forest, you could join up at a reasonable cost and then go to Sarnia if you want to use their facility. So I think there's an optics to this that I'm not anti-YMCA. I want to make that very clear. I'm absolutely, to me, it's the programming that's important, but I think we have to have a fair and accurate representation. And as I said, I'm almost tempted to table this because I'm not seeing the numbers that I've asked for.
Mayor Day?
Yes, I have two questions. One is with regards to the number of memberships. It speaks 442, and I'm just wondering if those are all active members or if some of those are dormant and not currently paying members.
It would be my fault if, again, trying to get a measure of how much information to put. I do have membership breakdowns from the Y. I wanted to get some sense from if this was whether you wanted the staff from the Y here to maybe speak more directly to their numbers, because we don't get involved in the initial in the breakdowns. These are the calculations are active for the current year. That's what they're represented. And I don't disagree with Councillor Bonesteel's comment about fair, openness and transparency. The initial request invitation for expressions of interest was broad-based. Anybody was entitled to make submission. And if the contract, I don't have a renewal date in front of me, if we go out for proposals again, I think it should be on that basis and let them duke it out in the marketplace. And that was always the intent.
Well, we're seeing an improvement over the years. We're up to 442 members. I understand what you mean when I see it broken down. But bottom line is, all we really want is a program supplier, right? Someone who can run our programs. We've got facilities. We need someone to be running our programs. Whoever's the best deal and the best to do that job, well, you know what? It's you can go either financial or you can go by the organization itself too, the background and the reputation as well. It all comes down to it. However, we're not up for renewal with this contract for what? 2 years or so?
I think it's a year and a half.
Year and a half or so? So when it does come time again, like for RFPs and stuff like that, all this information should be in front of us. And I think we should be putting our RFPs down as looking at the financial aspect of it, plus also as the full holistic aspect of what they can contribute from their experience and what they can get. We might be able to get a bigger bang for a buck through the Y than through a private service provider, or vice versa. So,
yeah, I just piggyback on what Martin said. That's the Y name is probably a draw to any facility, as opposed to, not saying other ones wouldn't be in the area, but again, if something is, as you pointed out, that could be available through other communities to work back and forth with one membership. If you're working with one group that's exclusive to Langford Shores, and would you draw the same numbers? It's hard to say. It's still another year before we're looking at it.
Councilor Russell.
Yeah, I think it is up for renewal or something. How do you do, John, for renewal? Year and a half? I agree with the point. But I think we can go back to Doug's point about the YMCA before they look at more members of Strasbourg, which allows us that same openness. And I think when you see the $7,000 in potential revenue type of thing, all I can think of is one of the things that Y does is the barriers to access type of thinking, that whole type of thing. And I personally, I'd really like to talk to the people from the Y to talk about the idea of further partnerships and not exclusive to, because I think as Doug pointed out, it's an appearance situation as much as anything. We're very happy to be subsidizing? Are we the ones subsidizing? Of course, we're the ones subsidizing. So that subsidization should be through a municipality. So as part of that RFP, or whatever we want to talk about in a year and a half, I think we just have to open up the full range of thoughts on this, because this was a good start, but I think this is what we've been talking about for over a year now, this whole idea of fairness. And I think that's what fairness is that it's accessible to the more people. We don't run programs right now.
Dr. Bosco,
Okay, here's what I'm talking about. This is a business decision. This has nothing to do with branding or anything. This is strictly a business decision that involves programming, and is an essential programming around wellness, which I'm fully in support of. But here are the numbers that I'm talking about. So if you look at the actual numbers, the adult general memberships, which are the big buck in here, we're talking 291, not 419. And if you look at the child memberships that pay nothing, we're adding those into memberships. We've got 100 students here that virtually pay a fraction of what the adult member, but we're counting them in as the numbers, and that's what I'm saying is misleading. So this is a business decision. We have to look at what it costs us to operate as a business, to offer a service to only a handful of people, a particular a group of people in a large municipality. And all I'm saying is, if we put out an RFP and get it back, it may justify this. It may say, no, you're getting your best deal right now. But until we do that, and I'm not prepared to wait a year and a half. This is money we're talking about. This is your bike card we're talking about.
everywhere, Doug.
I can appreciate that, and yet I think that we've seen in the past when we brought this issue to the YMCA, they actually were responsive to us, and they found ways to make it more cost effective. And obviously the YMCA is in the business of making money. They obviously, they wouldn't be in existence if they were always in the red. So in other areas, they're able to make money. So the question is, should we as a council direct them to just make it cover its cost, right? Can we have a break-even point? Because we do appreciate the advantages of a YMCA, but maybe it'd be easier for them to have someone else take control of the gymnasium, and that's not their financial responsibility, because the expenses of that are very significant. And then they can have, work out an arrangement that it doesn't cost $34,000 in expenses to handle all of the costs related to the gymnasium. So, and then they can just make up the $10,000 that they seem to be losing with the actual exercise facilities themselves. So if we put it back in their court and we just say, you know, do what you have to do to make it break even, and all is well. And then we don't have to wait a year and a half. I mean, obviously, we'll be in a position to extend it beyond a year and a half once we get to that point, if they find a way to make it break even then.
I guess the option we have there is breaking the contract now and doing a fresh proposal, or having a request for proposals for when the contract is 6 months before the end of the contract is when you would put requests out